In a small, peaceful village, there lived a man named Rajiv. He was known far and wide for his laziness. While other villagers worked hard in their fields or shops to earn a living, Rajiv spent his days wandering the streets, thinking of ways to avoid responsibility. He believed that life was too short to be wasted on hard work. Instead, he was always looking for easy ways to satisfy his hunger and needs, often at the expense of others. Rajiv's daily routine involved strolling aimlessly around the village, hoping to find some free food or an opportunity to take advantage of someone's kindness. One morning, as he wandered outside the village, he found himself on the outskirts, where the farmland stretched towards the horizon. His eyes fell upon a lush apple orchard. His stomach growled loudly, reminding him that he hadn't eaten anything since the previous day. Why work when I can simply take what I need? Rajiv thought to himself. With this in mind, he decided to steal an apple from the orchard. Slowly and cautiously, he approached the nearest tree, its branches heavy with ripe, red apples. Just as he reached up to pluck one, a loud voice startled him. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" yelled the orchard's owner, a stout farmer, running towards Rajiv with a stick in his hand. Startled and scared, Rajiv dropped the apple and took off running as fast as his legs could carry him. Behind him, the farmer continued shouting, but Rajiv didn't dare look back. He ran towards a dense forest, hoping to find a place to hide. Rajiv ran until his legs could no longer carry him. Gasping for breath, he finally stopped and found a large tree to sit under. Sweat poured down his face as he looked around the forest, which was dense and dark, filled with the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves. For the first time, Rajiv felt truly alone and vulnerable. "I hope that farmer isn't following me," he thought, still catching his breath. As he sat there, something caught his attention. Not far from where he was resting, he saw a weak, old wolf. The wolf had only 2 legs and was struggling to move. Its frail body looked as if it had not eaten in days. Rajiv was puzzled. How can this wolf, in such a dangerous and wild jungle, survive with only 2 legs? He wondered. It was clear that the wolf could neither run nor hunt. Rajiv, being used to a life of taking without giving, was struck by how calm and content the wolf seemed, despite its condition. Just then, the bushes nearby began to rustle. Startled, Rajiv looked around, expecting danger. His heart raced as he spotted a massive lion walking slowly towards the wolf. "Oh no, the lion is going to make a meal out of the poor wolf," Rajiv thought, immediately climbing up the nearest tree in fear. But what happened next left Rajiv completely speechless. The lion approached the wolf, but instead of attacking it, the lion had a large piece of meat in its mouth. To Rajiv's utter surprise, the lion dropped the meat in front of the wolf, gave it a calm look, and then walked away without a sound. The old wolf eagerly began to eat the meat. Rajiv, from his hiding spot in the tree, couldn't believe what he had just witnessed. The jungle's fiercest predator, instead of hunting and killing the wolf, was feeding it. How could this be? Rajiv thought. If even a lion can be so compassionate, then surely God is watching over this wolf. Maybe God has a plan for me too, just like he has for this wolf. After witnessing this miraculous event, Rajiv climbed down from the tree, deep in thought. He convinced himself that if God could ensure the survival of a disabled wolf, then he must have a plan for him as well. If the wolf can survive without doing anything, then so can I, he thought. With this belief in his heart, Rajiv found a spot in the forest to sit and decided to wait for someone to bring him food, just like the lion had brought food for the wolf. He was confident that God would take care of him, just as he had taken care of the wolf. Rajiv waited all day, his stomach growling louder with each passing hour, but no one came with food. By the end of the day, he was hungry and tired, but he refused to give up. Surely, God's plan will work tomorrow, he assured himself. The next day, Rajiv again sat and waited, but no one came. Hunger gnawed at his insides, and he began to feel weak. Why is no one coming to feed me? Has God forgotten about me? He wondered. By the 3rd day, Rajiv was so hungry that he couldn't bear it anymore. His body was weak, and his spirit was broken. Realizing that no one was coming to help him, he got up and made his way back to the village, feeling defeated. On his way back, Rajiv met a wise old sage walking along the road. The sage had a calm, peaceful demeanor, and his eyes sparkled with wisdom. Seeing Rajiv's disheveled and exhausted state, the sage asked, "What troubles you, my child?" Rajiv told the sage everything, how he had witnessed the lion feeding the wolf, how he had interpreted it as a sign from God, and how he had waited for 3 days for someone to feed him, but no one came. The sage listened patiently, then smiled gently and said, "Rajiv, you misunderstood God's message. Yes, God has a plan for everyone, but that plan is not for us to sit idly and expect everything to be handed to us. You were not shown the wolf's example so that you could become like it and rely on others. God showed you the lion's act of kindness so that you could learn to be like the lion, strong, independent, and willing to help those in need. Rajiv's eyes widened as the sage's words sank in. The sage continued, God wants us to work hard and be self-reliant, but also to show compassion and kindness to others. The wolf survived because of the lion's generosity, but the lion was strong because it worked for its food. Don't wait for someone to feed you. Become like the lion, someone who works hard and also helps others when they are in need. Rajiv sat down, his mind racing. He realized how wrong he had been to expect everything to be handed to him. Life was not about waiting for things to come. It was about working hard, being kind, and helping others along the way. He had been living a selfish, lazy life, always looking for shortcuts. But now, he understood the true meaning of God's plan. With a newfound sense of purpose, Rajiv decided to change his ways. He would work hard, be self-reliant, and, most importantly, help others whenever he could. The lesson he had learned from the sage and the lion had transformed him. From that day forward, Rajiv became a different man. He worked diligently in the village, earning his livelihood and offering help to those in need. He had learned that success comes not from waiting for handouts but from taking action, working hard, and being compassionate. And in this way, Rajiv finally understood the deeper plan of God.